Trustee Bowen, followed by our student trustee.
Okay, yes, I did have a question, something that was raised that I hadn't heard before about the supposed non-participation of some, and I definitely had a concern with that. But before I got that question asked, I did want to, there's a couple things I really did need to say, just to comment on some of the things that have been said, both by our speakers at this meeting and a month ago. The way I've talked about this for a long time with so many different people at this college, and I mean, I like how some of the people I spoke with, they've said, well, we have to agree to disagree, and that's one thing when it was put that way, but it's very disconcerting to me when I hear that rather than saying we're going to agree to disagree, to falsely be told that this is something that we've been secretly doing for years, that President Oakley has been doing this without the authorization of the board. Now, in retrospect, I mean, maybe we should have taken an official vote to authorize it, but I mean, I can say President Oakley has been doing this, with the full knowledge of the board. He tells us what he's been doing when he's lobbied for this. He's talked with us about it constantly. If any of us had a problem with it, you can bet we would have said something about that. And particularly the charge that continues to be said that we don't consult people at the college about this. I have in my hand something which I think sheds some interesting light on that. I was going through, I can't remember why, just looking through some of my saved emails. And this is a printout of an email communication between myself and a faculty member whose name I have blotted out because I would not be the first person to make a snide remark tonight that I may be putting that faculty member in danger of being jumped by other people here. But it's very interesting that this faculty member sought me out, and he's proposing, before and the date that I've circled on here indicates this is over 2 years old, before there was an AB 955 as we know it, suggesting something exactly like this. And my response, and specifically my response of saying that I've talked to another faculty member who also, for privacy's sake, I blotted his name out, it raised some concerns, and he answers back, and these are his words here, he says, students would be delighted to have this option that I suggested, then why would we stop them paying slightly more if that's the only way we can do this? And I thought that those last words, man, those are not my words, those are the words of this faculty member. I only made one copy. I figure I'll leave this with the student trustee. I'm sure she would be the one most interested in looking at it. I'm sure she'll share it with other people. Anybody else that's interested, after you give me the time to blot out that name for privacy's sake, I'd be happy to make more copies. I also think it's important to emphasize that what President Oakley has repeatedly said about how this is not going to affect the courses that we currently offer at $46 a unit, the assurances that we've been given that it's only, first of all, that it's optional, there's no requirement that you take it at the higher price, and that it doesn't in any way affect our ability to offer the more affordable rate, and the people that don't get in, or can't afford the other option are no worse off then than they are now. That's my understanding. And I've listened to people who will say anything to contradict that. And instead, what I continue to hear is a belief that seems to be expressed that all courses are going to cost $200 a unit if we implement AB 955 here. It's kind of, and the other thing, and I understand the people that don't argue it that way, that they emphasize, well, just as a matter of principle, a two-tiered system, we don't want anybody paying more. That was the point that I raised in my response to that professor. And I just want to respond to that I definitely understand the concern about that. And the point is, anybody that knows me knows that where I stand on the issue of Sacramento's support for education, people who have watched me here have seen me repeatedly attempt to, unsuccessfully, to lobby for us to support an oil severance tax to fund education, and to get us to lobby on behalf of that as fiercely as President Oakley has lobbied on behalf of AB 955. The issue was brought up in how as recently as the 60s. I mean, the tuition was zero. Hey, if I had it my way, that is what it would still be. That is not in my hands. I mean, we have much, much more limited choices here at the college. And I've also been told, some of the opposition in the few people that voted against it, they emphasize, well, we felt a better option than this was to actually provide the funding for the $46 unit courses. And I just kind of think if I am a state legislator, I do have those choices. I have the power to appropriate money. I would have the power to set the fee lower than $46 a unit. In my current position, I do not. I see a Sacramento legislator as to me, it's choosing between, what President Oakley referred to a minute ago as the perfect solution of actually providing the funding or doing this. For a member of the Board of Trustees at Long Beach City College, the choice is between implementing this or doing nothing at all, doing nothing to expand access. And obviously, it is not a perfect solution, but that's the way I've understood it. That said, I do have a significant concern about what was said earlier by some of the speakers about the colleges that are on the list of 6 colleges that have chosen not to participate. And I'm wondering if President Oakley can, because that definitely gives me pause on this, and I would like to know what the reasoning was between what were the 2 that decided not to participate, and if you are aware what the reason was.
Yes, I can answer that. First of all, Pasadena City College is on the list of pilot colleges. They have chosen to do something a little different and do not want to implement at this time because they are converting to a tri-semester system, which would create an academic calendar that would not have an intersession. So they eliminated their intersession, basically. They will not have summer nor winter intersession. So they cannot implement the bill at this time, assuming their tri-semester system goes into place and stays. There's a lot of controversy right now in Pasadena over that system. We'll see how it goes.
So it doesn't have to do with the fee structure.
No, it has to do with the fact that they will not be offering an intersession going forward.
And what was the other one?
The other one that said that they would not implement at this point is Oxnard College. Oxnard College has said that they don't feel that there's a need in their community for this bill at this point in time. They have 5 years to implement, and I know that the chancellor and the board have been looking at this in the Ventura district to see whether or not there will be a point in time that they will decide to revisit that decision or not. They have 5 years to decide, and at this point they've decided not to go forward. The other 3 institutions are College of the Canyons, which has said that they will implement, and they could not implement this winter because the eligibility criteria, it wasn't that they were in stabilization, it's that they didn't reach their enrollment, their base enrollment about a year or so ago. So they are on record as saying that they are beginning the discussions to implement come winter of 2015. And Solano College has recently communicated that they expect to implement as well. Crafton Hills College is part of the San Bernardino Community College District, and the Board of Trustees is receiving testimony at their meeting coming up, I believe, on November 14th to decide if they're going to implement.
And just one more comment before I let the student trustee speak is I think in regard to what I had said earlier about the much more limited choices that I have, when I explain that, to me I see it as this is the only choice we have if we want to offer more courses for our students. I spoke just today to a faculty member who continued to be opposed, continued to agree to disagree with me. And I thought it was very interesting when he kind of said, he literally said, you know, he still wouldn't agree with me, but he said, you know, kind of, I see what you mean. If I were in your position, I would probably feel the same way. And yeah, I'll just say that right back to him. I mean, if I were on the other side of this dais, I would probably be taking his position for saying, let's lobby Sacramento for more funding. But as I see it, my position here is to do whatever it takes to to expand our course offerings to our students. And if implementing this pilot program is the only way, I intend to support it.
Chair recognizes the student trustee. Following the student trustee, the chair will recognize Trustee Otto.
And thank you. I would like to start by thanking every single community member that is here, every single student and faculty member, and a special thanks to the Solano students that drove for 7 hours to be in this meeting in solidarity. First, I would like to be acknowledged as a member of the board. I am not in support of this bill. And so I asked the past student trustee, he wasn't also aware of this bill being supported by Long Beach City College. At this point, it seems like that actually we are going to be one of the only community colleges implementing this bill. Other colleges were not able, and others decide not to follow this or implement this bill in their institutions. Last meeting, I expressed my opinion on what happened in ASB, but recently the PCC Council, which is the second highest cabinet on campus, and the student government that reflects and advocates for the students at PCC passed a resolution standing in opposition on AB 955. Also, statewide groups as the California Community College Association of the Student Trustees and the Student Senate of California Community College stand against this bill. In opposition to this bill, we have the Associate Student of Pasadena City College, California Community College Independence, California Community College Chancellor's Office, California Federation of Teachers, California School Employees Association, California Teachers Association, Citrus Community College District, Coast Community College District Student Council, College of the Canyon Faculty Association, Faculty Association of California Community College, Los Angeles, Los Rios, San Francisco, San Diego, San Jose, Evergreen, Peralta, and Los Angeles Community College Districts, Part-Time Faculty United, College of the Canyon, Pasadena City College Faculty Association, Pasadena City College Institutional Support Services, Unit CFT, Three Country Central Labor Councils, United Professors of Martin, AFT Local 1610, University Professional and Technical Employees, Communications Workers of America, Local 91919, City College of San Francisco Board of Trustees, Amigos 805, LBCC Full-Time Faculty Union, LBCC Academic Senate, and LBCC Civic Engagement Club. AB 955 is a discriminatory bill that will eliminate the equal opportunity of students to get to classes. AB 955 is an unfair bill that will work just for a little percentage of students that can pay for this high cost of tuition. Long Beach City College is a community college. Here, the taxpayers are the ones who keep this college working. Why would we simulate a system like a private institution? Many of the students at Long Beach City College struggle every day because their lack of funds. They have to pay for their books, they have to pay for their food, and to pay for the housing. We have students homeless fighting in the lines of the shelters at campus. And students who are coming to class before any meal. These students are pursuing degrees and a better lifestyle. This bill will create courses that will be impossible to pay for these students. I understand that we will be offering help for students on financial aid, but this is not happening for all the students, a student population, and still, those will be receiving the financial aid will have like an increase of about 300% on their tuition, if I am understanding correctly. For this, and because of this bill, will open the door for more tuition increases, and what I believe it will open the door also for a privatization. And after Proposition 30 passed, the financial situation of community college is a lot better. I remain in strong opposition to implement AB 955 at Long Beach City College. Long Beach City College should be offered equal and affordable education for everybody. That's what a community college is for. Thank you.
Thank you. The chair recognizes trustee. In your comments, I thought, but our ASB did or did not support this?
The RASB, there was a resolution presented to the ASB, but it did not, it was not successful.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Chair recognizes trustee Otto.
Okay. You know, this is obviously a very difficult and important decision for the Board of Trustees to make, but I'd like to go back to what people, the process that we've gone through here. We've heard a lot of argument that, that this is undemocratic, that this isn't, it treats different people differently, and that the process that's been followed isn't the kind of process that should be followed if we're going to make a decision like this. And I disagree with that. I want to remind everybody that both houses of our legislature passed this themselves, said they thought it was a good idea to try this. The governor then signed it. I think that's the heart of the democratic process when your legislature says this is a good idea, we should follow through and try an experiment like this. And so it comes to us as state legislation that is signed by the governor, that our decision remains, should we or should we not implement this? And the arguments that I hear are largely what I call boogeyman arguments. What I mean by that, it's if we do this, bad things might happen in the future. We think that if this is going to send a message out to the college and open the door for bad things to happen in the future, tuition can be increased. But I want to remind people that at Long Beach City College, we are only eligible for this program if we have had enrollment capacity for the 2 preceding years, and we can only offer courses leading to certificates, degrees, or transfer preparation. So it is the kinds of classes that people are on wait lists for. Statewide, since 2008, there were in California community colleges a drop in courses offered from 420,000 to 334,000, or a 21% decrease in courses that were offered. At the same time, community college students declined from approximately 2.9 million students to 2.4 million students, to almost 2.3 million students, because they couldn't get the classes that they wanted at community colleges. So access is really a problem in California. And as President Oakley said, it's a problem at Long Beach City College too. If you have wait lists of 500 or 1,000 students for an English class or a math class, then the people that are not getting into those classes are people that are not being served at all. And when I looked very carefully at this bill as it wound its way through the legislature, I had a lot of concerns that I've heard people express here tonight. You know, it's going to just replace courses that otherwise would be offered, and I don't think that's true. It's my understanding that what the registration allows for is additional courses that don't take the place of any apportioned courses, money that is provided by the state. There are classes that are on top of that. It's limited to intersessions, and I think perhaps the thing that swayed me the most in this, in my consideration of this, was that last December, I had the occasion to drive by Long Beach City College between about the 10th of December and the 1st of February almost every day. And the reason for that was I had work up in this area and there was nothing going on at Long Beach City College. So for almost 2 months, this state asset was producing absolutely nothing. There were no classes being taught. There was no education going on in any way or form whatsoever. Shortly thereafter, I had dinner with the dean of the business school at UC Irvine, and he told me how they go almost 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I thought, you know, if the state of California has an asset like a community college or a university, it ought to be utilized fully. We're opening new buildings, and yet we didn't have the money to offer any classes. I see this bill as providing an opportunity for some students who would otherwise be slowed down in their attempts to attain degrees or to transfer, not at the expense of other students, and not in a way that is going to open or create a slippery slope in the future. Louis Brandeis was a justice on the United States Supreme Court in the first half of the last century, wrote a decision where he called the states laboratories of democracy. And what he said was that the states have opportunities to serve as these laboratories of democracy to try novel social and economic experiments to see if they work. What this bill does for 5 years, it sunsets in 5 years, it doesn't go forward, somebody would have to reenact it, but in 5 years, it says, let's try this. Let's see if this will help right now. It's evaluated on a year-to-year basis. We at Long Beach City College will evaluate it this next year, if we pass this, and the year after that, and at any time, we can say, you know what? Things are happening here that we didn't anticipate. Nobody's really benefiting. Somebody gave the state $100 billion for higher education, and we don't have to do this anymore. There's no need to do it. But for my money right now, what I think is that Long Beach City College has changed its goals. It used to be when I got here that the goals were to put the groundskeepers in logo shirts and to fix the clock tower. But now we talk about success, and we talk about how important it is with education becoming a scarce commodity to make sure that students not only get here, but they get out of here too. And until they get out of here, they're taking the seats of the generations that are coming behind them. I see this as an opportunity for us to ensure more student success, to have students achieve the goals that we very plainly and transparently have laid out that we want to see happen at Long Beach City College. And based on that, I support the implementation of this experiment for the narrow, limited period of time that it is.
Thank you. I will just so people know, after the vote, I'm going to ask for a quick 5-minute recess so we can all stretch our legs. Much has been said. I'm just going to make a few comments, very few comments. First off, to thank all the people that came to that podium and spoke tonight. Chris, there's nothing wrong with having passion. That's what, in my opinion, that's what drives democracy more than anything else. And Lauren, you get the award for profile in courage, because anyone can really be part of the crowd, but it's something else to stand up and look the crowd down and say, I disagree with you. So well done, and well done to everyone on how you handled yourself tonight. Much has been said, as you've heard, and one thing I've always learned about in community colleges, everything is a process. Everything is a process in higher education and community colleges. We do not do anything just randomly. As Trustee mentioned, Owen mentioned years ago. Same thing happens a lot of ways, and I bring that up only because I, of course, read the Press Telegram, among other places, and they talk about, recently you're talking about the city of Long Beach going through pension reform. I have to tell people, Long Beach City College dealt with pension reform years ago. That's because the people here, the faculty, staff, administrators, they knew what needed to be done. This college does have a reputation of debating the issue, but also being very innovative and not just waiting until the last minute to do things. So I just is amazed to me when people talk about how we come up with things, the process that's involved. When I came onto this board in 2002, the facilities were almost identical to when I was a student here. And that's wrong. This board, this college addressed those issues then. We've continually addressed other issues, whether it be how we place students in courses so they can become more successful. We've done that, other colleges have not. Promise Pathways, a very unique, innovative program. So this college has always tried to address the needs of the students first and foremost. And I believe tonight is another example. It may have some controversy, but without reiterating my colleagues, I just really, as I'm sitting here, and if I had to simplify it, and some of the comments I heard back from the journalism class when I spoke last week too, but just every community college in California, not just here, continue to experience the students not having the ability to complete their academic requirements because of the lack of being able to get in these high demand courses. So I'm not going to sit here as a board member and accept the fact that that situation is appropriate, that situation is acceptable. It is not. We have to find ways to address it. We are not going to be funded by the state of California to a different level. They've already said that to us. We've experienced it. We've had to deal with that for many, many years. So to do nothing to address the situation to me is just, it is inexcusable. And so we're going to look at it. I also like to tell people that, and we've mentioned many times, long wait lists for these high demand courses, they don't discriminate. Those bottleneck courses don't care what your economic income is. They're going to hold you up. And again, how do we address that issue? And this pilot program is going to provide an option to you, our students, and an option that, again, only 6 community colleges originally said they'd be part of. Stepping back, why people ask why we hadn't dealt with this previously. We only meet once or twice a month. So we have to have, and our superintendent president is the one that works with the state legislature, that bill changed repeatedly through the course. To have the ability to come back to us and approve or not approve the changes, it would never get done. So we monitor it, but that is the system we have, and it was a legislative process. So we were following it, but of the 6 colleges, it was mentioned. I did talk to one of the trustees from one of those colleges, and he very simply, very bluntly told me that the reason he didn't want to support it, political. He did not want to put himself in the line of being politically opposed because of his stand. And I have to tell you, I'm not going to do that. I think that was also an inexcusable way to look at it, to put his political career in front of students' demands. I'm not going to do that. And so I believe the students will take advantage of this opportunity to complete their academic requirements and move on with their lives. I believe that it will give you an option as students. And in all fairness, that's what we want you to have, an option. If you want to utilize it, please do so. If you don't, don't. But at least it's an option. And that's the way it should be. So I've never had a problem with this issue. I've never had problems with other issues because as I started my comments, everything's a process. We've worked through this. We understand what we're trying to do. And at the end of the day, we're trying to give students opportunities. And that is what Long Beach City College has been about for a long, long time. And I put down here, that's why I'm so proud of Long Beach City College. The people here is that, and I wrote this down as I was listening to some people, but it's very difficult because we have to make the tough choice. We are the ones as elected bodies that we have to finally say either we'll do nothing, and trust me, doing nothing nothing changes. And in many people, that's fine. That's because they cite an educational master plan that was developed in 1960, and we treat it like the Holy Grail. It is outdated. It no longer addresses the needs of this state or this college, and yet that's what we hold on to. So when I look at the issues that we get, I simply try to say this, that at Long Beach City College, we're trying to solve problems instead of just acknowledging that a problem exists, because anyone can do that. The tough thing to do is make the hard choices to try to address it. I hope we're right. I hope students take advantage of it, and we'll find out in a few months. So I thank you all for coming here. There is a motion on the floor for item 9.1. There's a motion and a second. I'm going to ask for a roll call vote so our student trustee can vote as well. Madam Secretary, if you could please call the roll on item 9.1, which will follow directly with item 12.9. Madam Secretary?
President Kellogg,
Aye.
Vice President Clark,
Aye.
Member Bowen,
Aye.
Member Otto,
Aye.
and Student Trustee Donato.
No.
Item 12.9, entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Trustee Otto, second. Second by Trustee Clark. Madam Secretary, if you please call the roll.
President Kellogg,
Aye.
Vice President Clark,
Aye.
Member Bowen,
Aye.
Member Otto,
Aye.
and Student Trustee Donato.
No.
Thank you. I will entertain a 10-minute recess. Thank you all. If you wish to stay, we will be back in session within 10 minutes. The meeting is recessed.